And I don't see any problem with that. I don't think that's a bad thing. But I just want to see it in the which products have it and which products don't have it. It's kind of like putting a clipper chip in the product. But I want to know which products have clipper chips and which products don't have clipper chips. Now, I know that CALEA, the law that says that the phone companies have to hand over their keys to the government if the government asks them for it, they're not allowed to tell the user that they're wiretapping him on this call. I understand that. That's fine. But I think that not on a call-by-call level, but on a product-by-product level, we should know which products are wiretap-friendly and which products are not wiretap-friendly. Not call-by-call, but product-by-product. And then Adam Smith's unseen hand of the market, of the free market, can have its effect. People will buy the things that serve their needs. If they want to buy products that have wiretap capabilities built in, they can do it. And there will be plenty of businesses that need that, and they will buy those phones. But there will be some of us that would prefer not to buy them, and that's what I want. I want the freedom to choose in the market which ones to buy. And so what I did was I have a patent applied for. I don't know how long it will take to issue the patent, but someday it will issue. And I patented some of the ideas in this protocol, or I don't know if, I don't even know if I'll even grant the patent. But if they do, I've made a declaration in the IETF that says that in this protocol there may be some things that are covered by some patent that is applied for. And anyone can have a free license to this patent if they comply with the protocol. Well, complying with the protocol means that you have to set that disclosure flag in the confirm packet. Are you seeing are you getting the drift here? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the patent to enforce that companies that use this protocol to encrypt things have to disclose whether or not they have made the product in such a way that it will give up the key, or have they made the product in such a way that it won't give up the key, so that everyone can decide which products they want to buy. And so that's what I mean when I say I've discovered a way to use patents for good instead of evil. So I'm combining intellectual property law. Remember, I hate patents. I hate software patents. But I'm trying to use software. I also am for privacy, civil liberties, and encryption for protecting democracy. And in fact, I'm more interested in that than intellectual property issues. But what I'm using is I'm using the patent to enforce that companies that want to use this protocol have to set the disclosure flag truthfully if they are going to give up the key. Not on a call-by-call basis, that would violate CALEA, but on a product-by-product basis. That doesn't violate any laws. What do you think? Now, how many people here don't like software patents? Well, okay, good. I don't either. So I'm glad to hear people that don't like software patents think this is a good thing. Yeah. Well, that's a good question. How do you protect the keys from hostile software running on your computer? You know, that's been a problem with all kinds of encryption software. In fact, if you go back to the earliest PGP user's manual written in 1991, for the very first version of PGP, I warn against that. And I say that, if you don't have a trustworthy execution environment, it doesn't matter how much cryptography we've got. It's all for nothing. But that doesn't mean that we all throw up our hands and say, let's not use crypto anymore. We just try to find ways to protect our computers from hostile software. In fact, so much of the efforts that go into all these training sessions are about how to do just that, how to protect your machines and networks from attack. One thing you could do is just do it in hardware. I mean, I think that software VoIP clients are a temporary thing. I think that in the long run, people are going to want this to be built into every telephone. And the telephone is not your laptop computer. It's just a phone that's on your desk like the phone you have now, except it runs VoIP instead of PSTN. Now, that's got flash memory, and you don't update it very often. And when you do, it's some big thing you got to go through, and it's got digital signatures and all that stuff. So, I think that some environments are safe from hostile software, or could be made to be safe. Well, if somebody licenses my SDK to put it in the firmware of a hardware phone, then it's up to them to protect the hardware phone from hostile software. That's out of scope. I can't, there's nothing I can do in my protocol or in my SDK to stop that from happening. I just do what I know how to do. Yeah?
Getting back to your software patent issue, how do you continue to protect that disclosure bit after the patent protection expires?
Well, it's good for 20 years. Patents are, by that time I'll be getting old and we'll need to have some young whippersnapper to take over and find ways to protect democracy in the future. I'm doing what I can do. Yeah, in the white shirt. Secure key rollover? Well, these are ephemeral keys. They're created at the start of the call and just destroyed at the end of the call. So every call has a fresh key. There's no public key infrastructure, no persistent keys. Now we do hash the session key, or actually we hash something derived from the session key is derived from something that is also hashed into something that's stored for the next call. But that's not what you're talking about, I think. You're talking about persistent keys. Yeah.
I'm wondering exactly what Leah says, and that you have to notify on product by product. You're not allowed to notify on call by call. Because aren't you by flagging each transaction actually flagging call by call?
You're just flagging you're asking about the difference between call by call notification and product by product notification. What we're doing is we're saying that products that are built to be wiretap friendly have an obligation under this protocol to set this flag for all the every time they do a negotiation, they got to set the flag saying, I'm a product that is built this way, that is designed this way. It's not the same thing as saying that I'm actually disclosing this key right now for this call. Because most of the time, they're not disclosing the key right now for this call. They're just simply products that can do that are built to do that. It's just a way of allowing people to select which products they want for their environments. And there are some companies that are going to buy the ones that that do disclose the key because they have a need for it, like a stock brokerage or a financial institution. If the product is designed to do it, they have to set the flag. That way we avoid CALIA problems. Yeah?
Is CPhone primarily targeted at only protecting RTP as a protocol? Is it looked at as other protocols like IAX?
Well, it's designed for RTP, but, it's a key negotiation protocol. Its purpose is to negotiate a session key to be used for SRTP, which is the encrypted form of RTP. So once you negotiate those keys, you could use them for some other purpose. You could use them to encrypt IAX. But IAX right now is not designed very well for encryption. It's, I think it would be a good idea to sit down and carefully examine IAX and see what's the best way to make it more secure. And probably the key negotiation protocol could look a lot like ZRTP. But the low-level packet encryption would be low-level packet encryption that's appropriate for IAX. but I haven't done that yet. However, we are putting it in the asterisk PBX because asterisk PBXs are often used for just normal SIP RTP calls. And behind you right there in the red shirt? Louder, please. Well, yeah, that's what we do. I mean, let me explain what the man-in-the-middle attack is. Let's imagine that every phone, that you make some phones that have this protocol embedded in it. And let's just say they're hardware phones, okay? It's embedded in ROM, or flash memory. And you buy these at Walmart, and they cost, $100. So I have one of these phones. I bought it at Walmart, and so did you. But somebody else who wants to be a man in the middle and wiretap us, he went to Walmart and he bought 2 of these phones. Okay? So he gets between us and he somehow has intercepted the packets from me to you. He controls the routing or something. And he gets in the middle and he's got both of these phones on his desk. And on this side is the phone that will ring when I try to call you. Because it will, he's going to intercept it. So that phone rings, and he's got speed dial set to call you. As soon as he hears the phone ring, he hits the speed dial button to call you with his other phone. Remember, he bought 2 phones at Walmart. As soon as you answer, he picks up this one, and he takes the 2 phones, and he inverts one of them like this and puts them together in this sort of 69 configuration. And the earpiece and the mouthpiece are, right there. And there's an air gap in between, and he's listening to our conversation across the air gap. He doesn't know anything about the mathematics of public key cryptography. He doesn't know, he's never even heard of the Diffie-Hellman algorithm. He doesn't know anything about cryptography, but he does have $200 to go to Walmart and buy 2 phones. So that's how he acts as a man in the middle. How do you detect his presence? Well, my link to one of his phones is using a different session key than the connection between his other phone and you. Because these session keys are random. I mean, they're randomly negotiated. The Diffie-Hellman negotiations are based on random keys. So the session keys are going to be random and they're going to differ. Well, how do you tell they're different? Well, what we do is we hash them and we display them on the display. And you could display them as hexadecimal digits, or actually, I often use base 32. It's a little more compact. So if you have 4 digits, it's 20 bits, which is a lot of bits. How many bits do you need to display? Well, I was displaying 2 words. And I don't know if you use PGP, but with PGP, we have an alphabet for that. We have 256 different words. Each one means a different octet. And so 2 words is 16 bits. So if you have, just say, a 16-bit fragment of the hash of the session key, well, that's enough, But what about if the man in the middle knows that you're only going to display 16 bits? The man in the middle might have a lot of compute power at his disposal. Suppose, for simplicity, let's just say you were going to just display 1 byte. It's the first byte of the hash. And let's say you're just going to display 1 byte. Well, if the man in the middle knows you're going to display 1 byte, he can sit in the middle